name is Kanchan, and I'm going to be talking about 5 scientific concepts that I learned in this class so far. So first is emulsion, which is a state that occurs when you have two or more liquids together and they do not mix. They're homogeneous. So a common example of this is oil and water, and oil and water do not mix with each other. As you can see in this picture, they're not mixed. The oil is actually going to float on top of the water. When you bake cookies and cakes, butter is going to act as an emulsion, and it is composed of water and fat that do not want to mix with each other. And this butter is going to melt due to the extreme temperature in the oven, and the water is going to try to release itself. Next, we have the Maillard reaction, and this famous reaction is going to occur at 310 degrees Fahrenheit. The sugars and proteins are going to break down in order to form a circular structure, and this reaction is going to generate all of the complex tastes and flavors, and it's also the reason why we have a great variety of these tastes and flavors. And fun fact, this reaction also occurs in bread, as you can see in this picture. Then we have caramelization, in which extreme temperatures in the oven are going to cause these sugar molecules to break down, and this is going to produce a caramel-like flavor in your baking food item. So this is occurring at 356 degrees Fahrenheit, and this process is extremely important because it adds a lot of flavor to your cookies and it causes the edges to brown, as you can see in some of these cookies and baking goods over here. Then we have coagulation, and coagulation is induced by heat and even acids. And what happens is the protein structure is going to change due to the heat. So in the meat making process, the meat experiences coagulation and a loss of water. And because it's losing water, the meat is going to become more solid and more strong and less chewy. Then we have fermentation, and this occurs in sourdough bread, for example. It's the famous process that causes the dough to rise when making bread, and the sugar is converted to carbon dioxide because of yeast. And fermentation is important because the length of this process is going to influence the ultimate taste and quality of your bread. These are the sources I used to compose this presentation. Thank you so much for listening.